if there is money to spend, then we wouldn't think twice about the kind of weddings we want to have. Yeah, and how much we would want to spend on those. But as life would have it, we've got to choose our styles according to the years of fabric we can afford. And that means we can't always have things the way we want them to be. We've got to look at what we can actually afford. And here we are talking about money here. So this video is for that person or that couple who are looking to having a beautiful wedding with a reasonable budget. Yeah. So as I already started, if you can afford a 1 yard fabric, you may want to go without sleeves. You may want to choose a style without sleeves. If you can afford a 2 or more yards of fabric, you may decide to go with more embellishments, style here, puff hands here, you have some flair here and there. Yeah, and that is the same with planning a luxurious or a beautiful wedding with the budget you have. If your budget is small, then you want to leave some things out. If you have more, then you want to add extras. Yeah, so please, I hope this one will be helpful to you. Okay, so I have some key points here as to planning your beautiful wedding. And the first point I'm going to talk about is the number of days you are going to have your program. Here in Ghana, we do the customary or court, church one, and then maybe our reception follows. Yeah, you can decide to do both on the same day or have them on separate days. If you're a picture lover like myself, then I would advise you go with the 2 days, because I have a personal experience where I couldn't have exclusive wedding pictures because I did both on one day. So there was no time. Everything was, let's rush and do this, let's rush and do that, and all that. So if you're a picture lover like myself, I advise you to go with 2 days. But then if you are going with 2 days, bear in mind that for everything you are going to do, you will have to pay double for it. So you are going to pay your photographers for 2 days. You are going to pay your makeup artist for 2 days. You are going to host or serve your guests for 2 days, which will come with extra cost. So as much as possible, you can have the 2-day ceremony and restrict one just to the family members, and then the other one you open it up for friends and families as well. Yeah, and as I said in my earlier videos, I said number of guests counts in planning for a wedding. Yeah, here in Ghana, because your vendors are going to charge based on that. If it's food, number of guests. If it's deco, number of guests. Everything you are going to do will depend on the number of guests. Even your invitation cards, your program outlines, or your souvenirs you are going to share, it will depend on the number of guests you are going to host for your event. So if you know you are working with a certain amount and you know you can comfortably host and serve 50 guests very well, then I advise you go with just 50 guests. If you are sure you can comfortably cater for 100 guests, then you can go with 100 guests. But if you are not sure, go with a number you can comfortably cater for. And then we come to our venue. Because we are going to have a customary ceremony, a church or a court, and a reception, we may end up going out for event centers and all that. And event centers here in Accra are expensive. So if you know your house is beautiful or a neighbor's house is quite okay for your program, you can go with that. Maybe pay them something little for cleaning up the place and all that, and then you rather spend more on the deco to make the place beautiful rather than going in for an event center where you are going to pay a higher amount for the event center itself, and then you pay another amount for the deco and all that comes with that. So you can decide to have an outdoor ceremony. And trust me, these days decorators are so good. They can transform, your outdoor ceremony to make it a very beautiful place. You even be wowed by what you will see. So you can decide to do that. And then there are also some venues that charge less. They may not be a standard event center, but then they will charge you less for something beautiful you can go with. Then for your appearance, I'm always saying don't compromise on your appearance, but that doesn't mean break your neck to pay the famous designers to sew your outfit for you. These days you can either rent a gown or rent a suit. There are also local designers that can sew what you want for you at affordable prices. You can make good use of them as well. But what I would advise is that you engage them earlier on, and then get your clothes ready like a month to the program, so that you are comfortable and you are sure that they made it well for you, and that the dresses are not going to disappoint you on that day. When it comes to food, if you can't feed your guests or cater for their needs, let's say with drinks, with food, water and all that, you can either decide to go with just cocktail, or as I've already mentioned, go with the number of guests you can comfortably cater for. So if you have to do strictly by invitation, then you have to do strictly by invitation. Your friends will understand. Your family will also understand, unless they are willing to pay for the expenses that comes with that. You may also want to do takeaway packs for all your guests, and then they can take along, rather than having to have a different venue for your reception. So right from the church, you can have takeaway packs being distributed to all your guests. Then you do away with the reception, but you and your bride can have a special place with just a few friends, just to make the night memorable or the day memorable for you. And I always say there is a reason why you were bet into the family you are in. A reason for the friends you have. So fall on your friends for their support, instead of having to pay for an ushering agency to come usher at your program, at your wedding. You may decide to fall on your friends, to serve as ushers on that day for you, or some family members to serve as ushers on that day for you, serving your guests, directing people to their seat and all that, so you can do away with the costs that come with that. Also relying on your friends as ushers or protocol for your event, then you may also provide them with some tips or some form of coaching of what they might expect and how they should conduct themselves, because they are not professionals. Please negotiate with your vendors. I ended up paying half the amounts, after scouting for makeup artists and all that. I got really outrageous prices, and I would say outrageous, but they were higher than my budget. In the end, I got someone who was offering same package but at a reasonable budget. You can watch my wedding video and tell me if I wasn't looking beautiful on my wedding day. I was really looking stunning. I liked my appearance, but I paid something I could afford for that appearance. So please negotiate with your vendors and don't settle with one just yet. Look around and go for the one that provides the best but at a reasonable amount that meets your budget. And then you can also fall on your friends. You can get a good friend who is very good at hosting programs, like an MC. You can just request them to host your wedding reception for you, your church. They can just do it for you, and they can do it at no fee at all. What you have to do is probably be kind enough to provide them with their TNT transportation and something little for just something little to motivate them to want to do that for you. And I'm sure they will gladly do it for you. So I hope you're a good friend too. And then you can also fall on your family members and friends for their cars. No need going out there to rent cars for your wedding. If you know of a family member who has a beautiful car you want to use, just inform them ahead of time that, see, my wedding is coming on this particular day and I want to use your car on that day. Just get your money ready for fuel. Yeah. Some will be generous enough to even fill the tanks for you to use on your wedding day. Don't forget to say thank you afterwards. Okay. And also at the reception, don't say you're going to get the famous artists to come perform at your reception when you can't pay for that. You can choose to entertain your own guests, or you can choose to have friends who want to entertain your guests for you. Yeah, you can have a lot of games at your wedding. You can look on YouTube for that, interesting activities that can spice up your reception for you, or games you can play at your reception to make it more fun and lively. Maybe I want to do a video on that, how our wedding reception was made fun and lively for our guests. Yeah. And then also your bridesmaids, your groomsmen. As I said in my previous video, if you want to go with bridesmaids and groomsmen, please inform them ahead of time, so that if you can't afford their costumes and all that, they can decide to take it up by themselves. Yeah, instead of also printing out invitation cards, program outlines. These days it's a social media era. You can go with e-invitation cards and then e-program outlines, and print out a few for friends and families who may not be present on social media. Yeah, so you can do that as well. But then when it comes to the customary marriage side, I've not really talked much on that. That one, the family usually gives you a list, and you can humbly request for a reduction with the list they have given you. Your partner can help you, plead for that. Yeah, and you go with it. And so I believe these few points will help you plan your luxurious and beautiful wedding. Yeah, if it helped you, please let me know in the comment section that it really did help you. If there are lots of things I didn't mention, be free to let me know. Okay, and please, if you haven't subscribed yet, I'm pleading with you, please subscribe, like, and leave a comment, and keep coming back here. Thank you, and do have a wonderful day, a good night, yeah, depending on your location. Bye.